The Diary of Samuel Pepys, 23rd of December 1660. Lord's Day. In the morning to church, where our pew, all covered with rosemary and bays, a stranger made a dull sermon. Home and found my wife and maid with much ado had made shift to spit a great turkey, sent me this week from Charles Carter, my old colleague, now minister in Huntingdonshire, but not at all roasted, and so I was fain to stay till 2 o'clock, and after that to church with my wife, and a good sermon there was, and so home. All the evening at my book, and so to supper and to bed. 24th of December 1660. In the morning to the office, and Commissioner Pett, who seldom comes there, told me that he had lately presented a piece of plate, being a couple of flagons, to Mr. Coventry, but he did not receive them, which also put me upon doing the same too. So after dinner I went and chose a pair of candlesticks to be made ready for me at Alderman Backwell's. To the office again in the afternoon till night, and so home, and with the painters till 10 at night, making an end of my house and the arch before my door. And so this night I was rid of them and all other work, and my house was made ready against tomorrow, being Christmas Day. This day the Princess Royal died at Whitehall. The 25th of December 1660. Christmas Day. In the morning very much pleased to see my house once more clear of workmen and to be clean, and indeed it is so, far better than it was, that I do not repent of my trouble that I have been at. In the morning to church, where Mr. Mills made a very good sermon. After that home to dinner, where my wife and I and my brother Tom, who this morning came to see my wife's new mantle put on, which do please me very well, to a good shoulder of mutton and chicken. After dinner to church again, my wife and I, where we had a dull sermon of a stranger, which made me sleep, and so home, and I, before and after supper, to my lute, and Fuller's History, at which I stayed all alone in my chamber till 12 at night, and so to bed. The 26th of December 1660. In the morning to Alderman Backwell's for the candlesticks for Mr. Coventry, but they being not done I went away, and so by coach to Mr. Crewe's, and there took some money of Mr. Moore's for my lord, and so to my lord's, where I found Sir Thomas Bond, whom I never saw before, with a message from the Queen about vessels for the carrying over of her goods, and so with him to Mr. Coventry, and thence to the office, being soundly washed going through the bridge, to Sir William Batten and Penn, the last of whom took physic today, and so I went up to his chamber, and there having made an end of the business I returned to Whitehall by water, and dined with my Lady Sandwich, who at table did tell me how much fault was laid upon Dr. Fraser and the rest of the doctors for the death of the Princess. My lord did dine this day with Sir Henry Wright, in order to his going to sea with the Queen. Thence to my father Boyer's, where I met my wife, and with her home by water. The 27th of December 1660. In the morning to Alderman Backwell's again, where I found the candlesticks done, and went along with him in his coach to my lord's, and left the candlesticks with Mr. Shepley. I stayed in the garden talking much with my lord, who do show me much of his love, and do communicate his mind in most things to me, which is my great content. Home, and with my wife to Sir William Batten's to dinner, where much and good company. My wife not very well went home. I stayed late there, seeing them play at cards, and so home to bed. This afternoon there came in a strange lord to Sir William Batten's by a mistake, and enters discourse with him, so that we could not be rid of him till Sir Arnold Breams and Mr. Benz and Sir William Penn fell a drinking to him till he was drunk, and so sent him away. About the middle of the night I was very ill, I think with eating and drinking too much, and so I was forced to call the maid who'll please my wife and I in her running up and down so innocently in her smock, and vomited in the basin, and so to sleep, and in the morning was pretty well, only got cold and so had pain in pissing, as I used to have.